Welcome everyone, this is Pineleaf News, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in LOTRO and here at LOTRO Players. And this week we have with us Andang,
Hey everybody.
Harry Adwin,
Hi, hi.
Maven,
Hey y'all.
and Carvet.
At your service and your families.
And let us head into our news for this week, and that on Monday, December 7th, we will be having downtime for the installation of update 17.1.
Boo, downtime. Yay, new stuff.
Pretty much.
Yes, we don't know exactly. Okay, we pretty much know what's going to be in it based on the Bower notes.
At the very least, it seems that there's going to be a lot of PvP changes, and there's also some crafting things and a few other things which we'll get to later. But it seems like
What kind of PvP changes? Or are we going to talk about that later?
we're not going to talk about it later, so let's talk about that now. There's going to be at least on beta at first, they actually had doubled all the creeps' morale pools and had increased their damage a ton. They then decided that doubling the morale was a little bit too much, so they scaled that back a bit. But
Bummer.
they are definitely trying to get things much more balanced. And it was funny because people were like, the update's not even out yet, and the creeps are already being nerfed again.
Yeah, really.
Well,
Really?
I thought that there were a lot of complaints about because they're saying they'll make battles take forever or something like that.
Well, yeah, you don't want, at least me personally, I don't want morale pools to keep growing on creep side. I think that they're way too big already. I think that they need to make sure that damage is obnoxiously higher and mitigations and other things that are not morale related are in good places. So in other words, all those behind the scenes stats that are protecting you would make it be much more entertaining for me personally. But it's pretty cool. But yeah, like 75k morale for a defiler, a healer class is a lot of morale compared to the freeps, but it's also nice to have diversity. So,
Yeah, I
it's
think somebody was mentioning they saw a creep go by that had like 123,000 morale. I had to triple take it because I was like,
yeah,
what?
and that's not even like a tank. That's like just a normal, one of the more normal classes.
Yeah.
But they have nerfed it since then, I believe so. On morale, but they still kept damage up.
All right, and then there is a new item that is going to be coming in the store with 17.1, assuming that there wasn't a major furor on this. At least there was in Bower, there was a new item on the store. And Dane, do you think it's actually going to make it live?
I think it will. Overall, reaction has been pretty good, but let's first say what the heck this item actually is. There is a new item that is introduced currently on Bulwer that is called the Blessing of the Valar because gifts are just not enough anymore these days. And the Blessing of the Valar is basically works the same way as Gift of the Valar, only it levels you to 95 and includes legendary items.
That's way more expensive.
And it is a little bit more expensive than
Not
the
that much more,
original
interestingly.
because the
Yeah.
gift was 5,000 turbine points, and
That's
so this is
true.
only 1,000 more. The gift on Bulwer at least has been reduced by 1,000, so now it's only 4,000 turbine points.
Yeah, it
Minus
was
5.
reduced a while ago. They actually lowered the price.
That
When
was
they
only
when they put it
temporary. I
no,
looked
when they put
on.
it in the store permanently, they lowered it. But they do have two different options for Blessing of the Valor, which is worth noting. If you've already leveled to 50 on your own, or you did Gift of Valor previously, you can go from 50 to 95 for just 2,000 turbine points, 1995.
Is it like the Blessing of the Valar upgrade?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's Blessing of the Valor upgrade.
It's the half Blessing of the Valar.
Say that again, Terry. We can do what?
If you've already leveled to 50, like on
Right.
your own or with the Gift of the Valar, instead of getting the whole Blessing of the Valor, which is
Oh,
another
got it.
6,000 turbine points, you can just get this Blessing of the Valor upgrade, which is
Got
only
it.
available because it will detect, that it goes through and it checks to
Right.
check what level you are. It'll only detect that if you're over level 50, and it's
Right.
2,000. It's 1995 turbine points.
Got it.
And
So
also,
really,
you have to be under level 95, and same thing with the Blessing of the Valor item. You have to be
Yeah.
under 95.
Which
Oh,
honestly, I'm actually kind of tempted by that Blessing of the Valor upgrade thing, because getting to 50 has never been a problem for me. It's all of that stuff in between.
yeah, I
Yeah.
was thinking you could like power level up to 50
It's
and
it's
just get
actually like that
a
that
week.
50 to 70 range is a real
Yeah.
problem. It's kind of a nightmare for me because
Plus,
it's Moria.
yeah.
We know how much I love Moria.
Plus, as you get to, higher levels, it takes longer and longer to level. So
Yeah, it
that's actually
does.
a really good deal
Yeah.
Yeah.
to be doing that.
Actually, I was thinking about classes that don't do well in mounted combat and saying,
Yeah,
all
that's
right,
another thing. You can skip Rohan entirely.
Yeah, really.
It's like, oh, sorry, horse lords. Nay, I say nay to you, sir.
Yeah. So I'm actually really tempted by that one. I really hope that it goes through.
Yeah, I haven't seen, at least in our comment section and even on Massively, because the video in this was featured on there. Um, for the most part, reaction has been pretty good. There's only been a couple people who are like, I really wish this wasn't in the store, but there's nobody that's like really, really raging over it. It seems like, I think especially since the Gift of the Valor was already there, and because the Gift of the Valor only took you to level 50, people really want to get beyond, Moria and some of the other zones that they might not like later on. And so I think that this item is good for those, and a
Plus, it gets you to the
lot,
moors faster too. If somebody
yeah,
wants to go do PvP, that's the first thing I thought of
I thought
was
Moore's had
it
auto
has,
leveling
it
now.
it
does, but you
does,
don't get the skills. I mean, you go in as a 50,
Oh
you only
yeah,
have your
right,
level
okay.
50 skills, even though you're leveled up to 100. So big deal.
and I would like to point out that by doing this, it does come with some virtues, but you don't have a lot of those virtues that you would have by leveling up normally. So
Right,
you're also
right.
still not as powerful as you would be normally. So,
Unless you go back and do all that
True,
stuff.
but a
right.
level 95 going back and doing virtue
Oh yeah.
surge is a lot easier than a level, 50 doing it or a level on
That's
level
true.
doing it.
Right, but
It's
you
actually
also
good
get like
variation.
half of it done with quests too. So
Yeah.
it's however you like, how much grind you want to do, I guess, or what you consider grind to be. Um, but yeah, overall, people seem to be really liking this item, especially people who have a ton of alts and are wanting to get them leveled up.
Yeah.
Are
Yeah.
really liking this item. The only thing that is kind of questionable is why now? The Gift of Valor has been in the store for well over a year. We've been at level cap at 100 for well over a year.
I hope it means there's going to be some new stuff, some cool new stuff coming down the line.
I'm hoping
Like
that it's
maybe
a
another
level cap
level.
increase.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
If that doesn't happen, I'm fine, but it would make more sense why they're introducing this item now. But
Even if it's not a level cap increase, it's actually been asked for fairly frequently. If you watch Forlorn's streams at all, I watch recordings occasionally. It's actually something that people have been asking for when he streams, and Quartermaster U is the same way.
Yeah. I don't think that there will be a level cap increase with Pelennor. I think it'll be inappropriate for that one. Maybe the one after that when we start to head towards Mordor. But I don't know, when do we start to head towards Mordor? Because after Pelennor, do we start on that journey to the east?
Well, I mean, a few people have to be healed, I think, don't they?
Well,
Before Aragorn can
yes, there is
Sterith.
that little detail.
it depends on how quickly we leave. It'll be interesting to see.
Plus, I
And
Yeah.
wonder if there's. No, I was going to say, never mind.
and I mean
Yeah.
they could jump the timeline ahead again because they've been down to like the hour is how they're calculating time right now. And so it'll be interesting to see if time speeds up again because there'll be less stuff happening in as little time moving forward. So,
I mean, there's a lot of ways that LOTRO can play around with the timeline from, months and months and months of people sitting in Rivendell twiddling their thumbs to, you know, pre-dawn, dawn, midnight, whatever in
right.
Helm's
Day,
Deep. I mean, there's
day
just
X.
yeah, there's just so many different ways they play around with it so that you realize what time is it in the story where I'm here. And, I kind of figured this out the other day when I was running through Bree for the umpteenth time. And I'm like, that guy never gets his stinking inn built, you know? Like, what's Anzo's problem? And I realized it's because he's stuck in a time dilation bubble where for him it's always Tuesday the 15th or whatever. So I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Let's head into the store sales. And what is on sale this week? I presume not the Blessing of the Valor.
No, because it's not in the store yet. Free sample this week is a Skill and Slayer Deed Boost ×1. Use coupon code that you can find on the store sales page or in the show notes or in the article on LOTRO Players that Drac writes up every week that tells you what the store sales are, which is super handy. We also have 20% off quest packs, mithril coins, 100% XP boost for an hour, and max morale and power scrolls. Also this weekend, so still applicable unless you're listening to this on Monday when the show's already on iTunes. But if you catch it live or tomorrow when the YouTube video goes out, 50% off select crafting items, 40% off Warsteed dyes, people, and 30% off universal solvents.
So Worsty Dice is a thing.
Warsteed
Well,
dyes is a
they are
thing.
hard.
Yeah, I got a
They are
Worsty die to match
super
my actual
overpriced and
horse.
they are not bound to
They are.
account. So the fact that they are on sale is awesome.
Yeah, that's really
They're
good.
pretty pricey. Yeah, I was stoked that there was sales and stuff going on. Very excited about that.
All right. Let's head into our players' news. LOTRO Players News is brought to you by. Oh, wait a moment. There is no sponsor this week due to the continued allegations against Lalia. Tune in next week when we are sure there will be more information on Barrowgate. So,
Ooh.
so let us head into our news then. And first, we'll have our community events calendar for December 4th through December 10th. Is there anything interesting you see on the docket this week? Anyone?
Hang on, I had a thing. I closed the link.
I thought I lost connection there for a second.
No, I had a thing, but it got lost. No, it's not this week. It's next week. Next week is where is it?
Something super
Coming
awesome.
soon. Next week. Crick Hollow's Winterfest. Friday night. Oh no, that's this weekend. No, it is next weekend. It kicks off next Friday.
If
Pretty
it's a
sure.
double-digit date, it's next weekend.
Yeah, and also Landreval is having the Parade of Lights next weekend, next Saturday in point of fact. And there's a link in the article where you can find out all of the details for that.
Yeah,
And
they
also
do
Winter
ask.
Stock is going to be coming up, so. And Treasure Hunt next weekend, not in the community events, but Treasure Hunt next weekend.
Cool.
I'm looking
Awesome.
forward to it.
Yeah, I would like to point out on the Parade of Lights, they do ask you to bring, lanterns, sparklers, or anything that generates light. So that should be a really cool audience on that parade. So look forward to that.
All right, then. Then let's head into a little note about LOTRO Reporter. LOTRO Reporter will be having episode 300 live on December 8th at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, U.S. Pacific time. And this is going to be Leonor's last show.
Yes, Pineleaf. Leonor is going to be leaving Lotro Porter after multiple years of being on the show to focus on his YouTube channel, youtube.com/Leonor. And so this will be, the 300th episode of Lotro Porter, which is a huge milestone. And, also it's going to be saying goodbye to Leonor. So definitely a show you will not want to miss. Like Pineleaf said, it will be on December 8th, that's a Tuesday, at 7:30 p.m. Pacific. And so that is going to be quite an event. Highly recommend, we fill their chat room as much as possible. It's been so long since we've had, a huge milestone show like this in the Lotro podcasting community, and I'm pretty sure that Lotro Porter is the longest running Lotro podcast. At the very least, it has the most episodes. So very, very cool, something you'll not want to miss. And just for people who are curious, it sounds like that Chris will be taking over, filling in for Leonore until they find a new host. So there will be plenty more episodes of LOTRO Reporter coming up after this, but this is definitely one you will not want to miss.
All right. And Arithert, who is not here today, participated in a 24-hour St. Jude Play live charity stream. Is he
That was a
trying to
lot of
recover
fun.
from that?
Oh no, he's recovered. I mean, he decided to get a quick nap on immediately thereafter, and then he kind of did a full night's sleep, I guess, last night. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, it was really fun to hang out back and forth, and then pop in and out between Thursday morning all the way through to Friday morning. It was awesome. He actually was able to, at the very end, through to some very generous chat attendees, break his $3,000 goal.
Yeah, it was very impressive. Great job at Arithert raising that money for people who really need it. That's awesome.
All right. And we also have a poll this week. And the poll is, where would you like to live in Lotro?
Yes, that's right. Finally, we did not include every option because there were already 20 options to this poll, and I was like,
Good
that's
grief.
that's where I'm cutting it off.
You decided to cut off. You decided not to include picks like the Barrow Downs.
Right. Yeah. But I tried to include, the more popular options, and I think I did a decent job in that. The top answer with 23%, 77 votes, was the Shire. And I guess I should mention that there were 332 votes. This is one of our more popular polls. Next up was Lothlorien, followed by Rivendell, and then Evendim with 8%, Erdluin with 8%, Gondor with 7%, and then Rohan, Bree, and a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm not going to read through all of them. Um, but yeah, this was a fun poll. It seems that people really like the Elven places because Lothlorien, Rivendell, and Erdluin were all in like the top 5.
I don't want to live in Lothlorien. Those people don't know anything about handrails.
Yeah. All right. Did any of the choices have zero choice picks?
Every single choice had at least one vote, including the Ettenmoors, which was actually
Oh
the
my
only one with
goodness.
only one vote. So very surprising. Coming from the bottom up, the Ettenmoors was the last option with one vote. Isengard was next. Not many people wanted to live in Isengard, apparently. But more people, well, an equal number of people want to live in the Lone Lands as in Isengard, apparently. So
Oh,
it was a fun, interesting poll.
they want to refurbish Amansul.
There you go. That wouldn't be
Just
a bad
claim it
thing.
for yourself, yeah.
Four
Right.
people wanted to live in Angmar. I'm like, Angmar. Yeah, that's
That
awesome.
was pretty high on the list, actually. It was, in
Yeah.
Those are the
the
same people that
middle.
use the One Ring as their wedding band.
Probably.
That's marvelous.
All right. And Small Lotro Adventures had another episode this week. Gabilazan.
That
Yes.
And
sounds
of
like a
course,
kid
that
trying to
relates to
pronounce.
the Bingo Boffin episode this week.
I can just imagine someone trying to pronounce that as a kid. Yeah. Gabil is. What does that mean?
I even had trouble saying it in my own series, so
Yeah,
I
I remember
think
you did have a little trouble with that.
it sounds like most dwarven names are sounded like on a dare when you've got something stuck in the back of your throat.
see, dwarven names are all right. It's Gondorian stuff that's just it beats me over the head. I have a tough time with Gondorian names.
I thought Gondorians preferred. I was going to say Elvish names, but there's probably only some influence of Elvish in there. There's
There's a
probably also some
high
native influence.
there's a high influence of Elvish for sure. But
That's the problem right there.
they also combine it with their own dialect, and their own dialect confuses it even more. So it's like a really like curmudgeony, messy version of Elvish is basically what
Oh,
Gondorian
you
is.
mean it's a confused language like English is?
Yeah, only worse.
I give Van Dang bonus points for just saying curmudgeony.
Well, I'm still in the mind of my Glimline video I made earlier this week.
There you go.
And for our LOTRO video highlight this week, we have the Update 16 fan trailer.
Yeah, this was a fan-made trailer for Update 16. They've actually done updates 14, 15, and 16, and this was done by Vincent Clark, so pretty awesome job. This one was put to the emotional song that's sung in Return of the King by Mary, I believe. Yes, maybe. Confirm or deny. All right, my other
All
hosts
right.
are so helpful here.
Yeah.
What?
Wasn't Mary the one that sung the song in Lord of the Rings, or was that Pippin?
Pippin.
Pippin.
Yeah,
See,
it would
I
have to be.
always
Denethor.
pick the wrong one, no matter what. I get those two confused all
Well, trust Trish and I to have those two straightened out.
the time.
It's Billy.
That's right.
Yeah, and so the
Now,
awesome song from Peter Jackson's film that Pippin sings when Denethor is like chomping down on some really bloody chicken or something,
yeah.
Yes.
Cherry
um,
tomatoes.
and juicy tomatoes, and
Yeah.
just really messy. And this was put to the update 16 update with Osgiliath, and it's the Ashes of Osgiliath, and it was really really well done. And I think the song fits maybe better here than it does in the film. So this was really cool.
Now, is there a trailer for Update 17?
Um, we'll have to wait and find out if that happens. It would be awesome if it did. I really like his trailers.
All right, then let's head into the Ninny Hammers, who perform Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence.
And this was awesome because Lily Kate actually listened to what I said about not being able to see stuff on SoundCloud. So she put it in Dropbox. So I was actually able to listen to it.
Sweet.
So thank you, Lily Kate.
Yeah, and this was a great song. I really enjoyed it.
And the picture is from the Battle of the Bands last week on Evernight.
Gotta throw down, Battle of the Band style.
Yeah. Now then we'll head into another episode of Pine Leaf's Pictorial Primer 2 Skirmishing, the Icy Crevasse. How's that for a nice cool place?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Pineleaf, I'm surprised that you agreed to do the Icy Crevasse today in our stream after spending all that time to create a guide about it.
Well, you did want to have all the skirmishes covered, I guess, in the stream at one point or another, right?
It could have waited till next week.
Well, Pine Leaf is a cool guy. He's chill. He's got it all covered. There's no shiver down his spine. He's got it.
We get it carved.
I can keep going. I mean, he didn't want to give you the cold shoulder ending. I mean,
Gosh.
didn't want to stab you in the back with an icicle. I mean, he's there for you.
Family Line, part 70.
Bada bing.
Depart.
Pretty soon this
Oh,
is going to be longer than like my
two-part.
longest
Yeah,
like
yeah. Depart, yes.
pretty soon this is going to be longer than my longest YouTube series, I'm pretty sure. I mean, this is
What's your
such
longest
a long running series. It's awesome.
I gotta stop looking at the pictures because I keep giving myself spoilers for what's coming. I was like,
I
I gotta
know.
get caught up. What's gonna happen? No, what? Because I thought you said depart, and I'm like, depart, like they're leaving somewhere? No, two part. Somebody's splitting up. What's going on?
No, T-O part. Actually, or is that a typo?
No, I think it's TO part.
Okay. Then let's head into A Critter's Journey. Cavalry. What, we're going to have a chicken riding a horse?
No, it's the cavalry arrived to rescue them,
I'm guessing other beasties come forth.
which is what the cavalry does. Cavalry to the rescue. That's what that reference is from.
Although, now that you're talking about chickens and cavalry, the idea of a chicken cavalry mounted upon bog lurkers has some merit. Just
That would be
saying.
perfectly sized for them too. I
mean,
totally
and
agree.
not to mention that the bog lurker is almost like a natural nest.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like a very, very
That's a
compatible
brilliant idea,
relation.
Carve.
I'm just saying.
Chicken play needs to get mounts, and they need to be bog lurkers. I'm sold.
Zinger needs to
Dude,
make that
dude,
happen in a
could it be
screenshot.
like a like super amazing speed buff you get when you're doing chicken play? Like the bod lurker would give you like a plus 68 run speed, like a horse does. You could gallop across the plains on your bog lurker mount. How cool would that be?
Yeah, that would be really cool. And I am counting on Zinger because, by April Fools, we'll all forget about this. So this needs to be April Fools, Zinger. Come on.
That'd be awesome.
Very well, and we have another installment of Poems of the Pine, The Daughter of Strife, which is book 15 of volume 1. Amarthya was freed from the mastering ring, and was named once more Narmlith the Elf. Yet what could we do, and where could we go to save the land from the lash of Angmar? One hope remained to heal the north and drive out the darkness that dwelt in Angmar. We thus retrieved the trusty blade that stabbed a wraith on the stairs of the keep. Yet first we found at a fiery lake Morsrambor, who kept the cruel ring. When we fell our foe, Narm flung the ring into the pool of fire to free her mind. Yet Mordredith remained in the maze of fear, so deeper we went to defeat the raid. He summoned the visions of Sarah and more to make us despair with madness and grief. Our strength did stand, and we stilled the visions, so our foe did come to fight our group. Then when all seemed lost, Laerdin's daughter spent her strength to strike the blow. Our foe is defeated, and the foulness cleansed. The crown of iron has collapsed. Yet a price must be paid to purge the filth, so Narmlet's spirit was spent.
Awesome. Awesome.
2 snaps.
And that ends volume 1.
Are you gonna do the rest of them?
I will be starting volume 2 next year.
Awesome.
Well, next year is like 3 weeks away.
Yeah. So it's only a few
No,
weeks.
but he's taking time off for the holidays. That's good.
Yeah, and he's also taking time off his guides too. A pine leaf's got to rest.
That's true. You got to have that regeneration over the holidays.
Mm-hmm. Make that needle stronger.
Needle stronger. All right, let's go into our week in Lotro. And Anding, what were you up to?
Yes, well, I learned last week to never trust a wounded dwarf pirate.
What?
Yeah, never ever do that.
Buff.
That was part of Bingo Boffin. And then this week, I found a hobbit in a hole in the ground.
So in the hole in the
On the
ground,
ground,
there
there
was a hobbit.
lives hobbits.
Yeah, and then in a hole in the ground, there was a hobbit that then traveled thousands of miles to be in a hole in the ground again.
And you had to throw food at him.
And hope he doesn't drown from like the weight of the food on him.
Right.
All right. So Maven, what did you do?
I completed the whole epic quest, so I'm all caught up on the epic quest, and all I can say without spoiling it is, well played, Turbine.
Yeah.
Now I have a question for you, Maven. Did
Yes,
you
sir.
complete every single part of the epic not without skipping any of them?
Right. On
All right.
Glordrell, I did. Yep.
So, all right. So that's good. Congratulations there.
I know. Haven't done it on my other alts, but on Glordrell I did.
Well,
It-
yeah,
it-
I know
it's
there are a
hard.
lot of characters I have who have not completed volume 1.
Yeah,
Parts of
that's-
volume
that's-
one where it's like, oh
That's the
my
one
gosh.
that kind of trips me up as volume 1. Plus, and then volume 2 is Moria, so there's that.
Well, for me, the part of volume 2 that gets me is book 8.
Mm-hmm.
I usually skip book 8. I go from 6, either go from 6 or sometimes maybe 7, then straight to 9.
Yes, 8 is the one where you keep going back and doing all those
Yeah.
instances, the mirrored halls,
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff, and
Oh
the
gosh.
stuff, and the stuff again, and the
All right. Carvet, what were you up to?
I was reminded of the importance of checking the store sales, and I've got a kid running in. What? I'm in the middle of a show. I'm reminded of how spontaneous it is to be a parent as a podcaster. So somebody else take this. I will handle this call. Hold on.
I'll go.
I think that's my favorite moment of this show so far. That was great.
Yeah, me too.
Totally you need to figure out what that time code is so that it can
Yeah,
be.
definitely.
So I this week Silverload became open for transfers. So I transferred all 7 of my characters from Silverload to 3 different servers because you can't just take them to one. And then I did rounds of outfitting. So I transferred a lore master to Landreval. So I now have all of my character slots filled on Landreval, which is weird because it's like 4 pages of characters. And did outfitting, and then I did some more outfitting. And a special shout out to Airthirt's girlfriend Becca for lending me an apple basket cosmetic because I got on Gladden and was trying to do an outfit and realized it didn't have the apple basket for some reason in my wardrobe.
All
So
right.
she helped me with that. So what did you do, Pine?
All right. This week I ran several rounds of survival barrel downs. The best run of this was during Aerother's St. Jude stream, where we were doing a small fellowship running of that, and our group lasted for 45 minutes, which broke my record for longest survival at level in survival barrel downs.
All right,
And we
well,
did it 2
That
days
is
later and
awesome.
lasted like 13 minutes.
Okay, so before I was interrupted, I was going to say that I was reminded of the importance of checking store sales on the site, like on LOTRO players, because the new sales come out on Thursday, so you can see what's happening. Well, as I was playing on my free-to-play account this morning, I was thinking, I need to figure out what's on sale. So I just happened to notice that quest packs were on sale. And I was like, sweet, I can use my hard-earned TP to buy Evandim at 20% off. And so I did this morning on stream, and it was awesome because I'm like, instead of having to grind for another 2 or 3 weeks to get the TP to buy Evandim, I was able to buy it 25% off, and I still had stuff left over for carrying on next week. So it was really cool. So you got to check the sites.
All right. So let's head into Beyond Lotro, and I heard a rumor that Peter Jackson is seeing a doctor.
Who?
oh brother, that's literally they made that joke in the actual video, and it was just as annoying then.
That is
Um,
fantastic. It is.
So yes, Peter Jackson posted an interesting video on his channel that was basically all but confirming that he will be directing a Doctor Who episode in the near future. People have been speculating this for a long time, and this video all but confirms it. Peter Jackson also knows how to really troll people because there's a copy of the Silmarillion on the table with like a ton of post-it notes sticking out of it, and suggesting that they might be working on the Silmarillion or something, which is completely ridiculous because the Tolkien estate
Maybe
owns.
he's following the Silmarillion film project.
I didn't
Maybe.
even notice that. I was so geeking out over the Doctor Who references, I never even saw that. Well played,
Yeah,
Mr.
I
Jack.
didn't notice it either until I looked in the comments on the video and people were like freaking out over that, and so I was like, well, I gotta include that in the article now.
Marvelous. Actually, I caught wind of this through one of my Doctor Who fandom pages on Facebook, and I was checking it out, and I was just I was that guy in the corner of the office laughing my head off because it was obvious I wasn't working at that point. So I was just like, I can't believe it. He's sitting there polishing his Oscars, chatting with his daughter, and there's a Dalek running through the house, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, the fact that that and the actual doctor is actually
Yeah.
in this makes it all but confirmed
Beautiful.
that this is going to be a thing. Because I doubt they would do that if it was just like, oh yeah, we might make one. or they're just super big trolls. I don't know. But
Well, he
Either
did
way.
have that Silmarillion book on his desk.
yeah. But
And
I was worried, like, this isn't really too tied to, the Lord of the Rings, and I was like, oh, thank goodness there's a Silmarillion on the desk. We're good. Um, so anyway, this was a really cool video. Recommend you check it out, even if you're not a Doctor Who fan. This was just a cool video.
Okay. And Doctor Who is transported into the siege of Gondor. Yes.
he he just uses like all his stock footage from The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings.
oh my gosh, that's so good. Oh
We
no.
currently have 20 supporters on Patreon. If you would like to join this illustrious raid of players to help support LOTRO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards including a mention on the podcast of your choice, or even be a guest host for us on LOTRO Players News. And how far are we from the next goal?
Yes, well, we are less than $40 away from a 1-year VIP code giveaway for Lotro, so that is really exciting. We've been moving closer to this goal for some time, and so it'd be really cool to finally get it.
We did not get any emails this week, but if you would like to send us one, you could send it to podcast@lotroplayers.com. You could also follow us at Twitter, the Players Alliance @Players Ally, Lotro Players @Lotro Players, Andang @PVMP_Andang, Arithert @Arithert, Carvet @Carvet LP, Maven @Tolkien Maven, Pineleaf @Pineleaf Needles, and Terry Adwin @Terry Adwin. The Players Alliance has 4 live shows. Every Monday at 8:30 p.m. US Eastern Time, we have DDO Players News. Every other Thursday at 9 p.m. US Eastern Time, we have XP Quest. Every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. US Eastern Time, we have LOTRO Players News. And every other Saturday after LOTRO Players News, we have Tales of the Free Folk. You can join us on our live shows at lotroplayers.com/live. Thank you everyone for listening, and that is all for tonight. This is Pineleaf News reminding you to skirmish responsibly.